I have expressed a couple of times that I would begin to reduce the introductory words I tend to throw at the beginning of each episode, and I am now trying to find a way to make that happen. For now, however, the introductions will remain. Perhaps Peaches, Mo, Francois, and Lena await any signal from within the Lower Manhattan Hospital, where Chris, Officer Reyes, and Doc have been taken into the forcible confidence of Brant the Thunderlord. Brant has just sent Chris with a small retinue of his primitive New Yorkers to summon in all of his friends. Let's listen into how that turns out. So, Chris, you don't know that Mo, Lena, Francois, and Peaches
Actually,
have
shouldn't
kind
I
of.
roll to see if I do notice them?
You could if you want, okay, but okay. Let's see, Peaches and Francois. Let me look at Francois. Peaches, look at your stealth if you have it. If
I don't.
of course, it's going to be Dex. So Francois has a 7.
That's horrible. And my dex is 10.
Okay, so you're talking a minimum of 10. Let me look at Lena. Let's see. Lena. And let's see, does she have stealth? She does at 10. So that's both of you at 10. And then Mo.
Yeah, no, Mo is not stealthy.
Okay, so your target number to notice is going to be 12.
Okay, so what do I roll for that?
Roll your find. And your
Okay.
target number is 12.
So difficulty of
Or
12.
difficulty number. Yep. Okay. Oh.
Holy
Okay.
guacamole.
Okay, but here's the deal. This is not a bad thing. Okay, you don't disconnect. You're just using your senses. You do not notice anyone. You've got 4 of these primitive monkeys around you, to quote
They're
Mo.
smelly.
They're kind of smelly. When they went to work this morning, they were showered and they had deodorant on and everything like that. Now things are kind of starting to get hot. The hair's coming out. The sweat is starting to get there. So yeah, they stink a little bit, but not too bad. But
they have bloody bloody clubs, which has probably arrested your attention.
Yes, I was just going to come to that. They are violent, and you know they're violent. So
I'm a little scared to be looking around, huh?
It's not a matter of being scared to look around so much as you're having a difficult time noticing by looking around. You know, you see what I'm talking about?
Yes. I'm noticing. It's like I don't notice them, but I'm noticing the 4 people directly next to me that I'm scared of.
Yes, precisely. So, what are you going to do? Where are you going to go?
Are
you going to continue to
walk? I would kind of continue to walk straight. As kind of slow-ish. Not too slow to make it look like I'm dragging behind, but slow enough that I'm not gonna accidentally lead them to my friends completely unprepared. Like I'm kind of hoping
so
that they would.
Here's what I'm going to do. You go to get across the street, and you've got a little bit of difficulty with that. Boy, I really don't want to move everybody to that other map. I've got another map. It's a little bit bigger and it's a little bit healthier, but it doesn't have the interior of the hospital to it. So let's see, how am I going to do this? I got it. I am going to go ahead and drag you all to another map, but I can leave these characters here where they are. hang on just a second. Let me set this up. Control V. Okay. So, oh, no. Oh, crap. I hate it when it does that. All right, I'm going to have to do this one bloody bad guy at a time. Let's see. 2, 3, 4. Chris. And then, all right, so you two are there. And of course, I can't go and get, okay, so Mo and Lena. Let's go back and get, wrong map. Oh, I'm a retard tonight, I'm telling you.
Oh,
I'm
come
just
on.
doing great.
Oh, my tech misadventures continue.
Oh, okay. Okay, those two, okay. And
In other words, you have nothing on me. A chair tried to kill me today.
oh, well, and let me move that over there. Ooh, okay, you should see a new map. It's the exterior of the hospital, but all of your characters are basically set up the way that they are. Now, Chris, move your character where you're going to move your character.
I would continue moving forward, and I'm not on the next map.
It didn't take you to the next map. Oh, I know what happened. Hang on. Okay, try that.
I would be kind of moving forward and kind of looking around, like left, right, kind of, then continue
just-
moving.
Still moving slow?
Yeah, moving slowish.
Slow-ish. Oh, went too far. There we go.
Ah,
Okay. Okay, so for Chis and Mo, and of course Francois and Lena, this is basically what you see. It's not exactly where you were on the other map, but there are some sizing difficulties that I had to overcome.
That's all right. We see I see Chris surrounded by primitives with bloody clubs
Yes.
and a lot of people on the ground.
And just don't forget, you see the hospital entrance here is still open.
Yeah.
There is power to the building, but the doors are kind of blocked off.
Can I see through the glass doors from where I am?
Well, no, you could sneak up and look through the glass doors if you wanted to, but I would have to move you to the other map. It's supposed to work in a way that let me kind of grab you here. Whoa, what happened? Uh-oh. Did I just disconnect you? No, I just dragged you around. What in the world?
I'm fine.
Okay. All right, hang on. I got to turn the stupid pictures back on in order to do what I needed to do. Small. The pictures are not small enough. Okay, Ginger. Oh, come on. Gimme. There we go. Now, let me pull this back out.
Well, here's a question. From where I am, can Chris be observed? Chris and the 4 primitives be observed from the doors? For instance, if I attacked the primitives that I'm thinking are holding him captive, are they would it be seen?
From what you can tell right now, yes.
It looks like they just walked straight out and are walking straight away from the building.
Yes. Ginger, do you see the old map, the smaller map?
No, there's well, there's primitive 7, 4, and who are the others?
Well,
They
look.
kind of overlap, so I can't read the
Oh,
tags.
for fuck's sake. I wish this thing would work the way it's supposed to work.
Oh,
Excuse my language,
I
please.
see 7, 4, 9, and I can't see the other one.
Okay, then you're in the right spot. Okay, over here, you see this entrance, right?
I see the entrance. Yeah.
Entrance to the hospital. Okay. In order to sneak up, you might be able to see what's going on from this window, which is no longer there.
Ah.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to I'm going to do just that.
Okay.
Neat.
So you kind of see what's going on here. you've got, of course, the side post here and the side post here for your doorway. So you see Vanessa, but you don't see Isabel. And you see the idiot standing up off of his throne, but you don't see him very well because the top quarter of his body is obscured by the doorway.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah. So there's some looming idiot. And then there's like all these primitives. They've got Vanessa.
As far as you can tell, yes. So here's from. Okay, you can see through there. Like I said, you can see Vanessa, but you cannot see Isabel. You cannot even see these primitives that are to the left. You see where my arrow is pointing?
Is Vanessa okay then? Does she look?
She looks like she's in the same condition that she was in when.
Does she look angry, frightened? Is she like wringing her hands, or is she like tapping her foot impatiently, or what?
Yeah, she's not very happy. You kind of hear her voice, but not very well. And the voice of the man who is standing up on his quote unquote throne is kind of berating her as she's trying to talk him down. Okay. Now, of course, you know that the Thunderlord here can see what's going on outside, and so can those 4 primitives.
Which I can't see, so I don't know they're there. Or do I?
Right. Well, you don't know
don't.
they're there. Well, that's my fault. I gave that away. My bad.
Oh,
But
that's okay.
I'm
I
trying
can.
to determine line of sight. So
There's plenty of targets in sight, and I do know that I do know that these 4 can be seen from the door. So
yep. So what do you want to do?
well, I'm listening. Is Chris saying anything?
I wouldn't really be saying anything. I would just be kind of thinking to myself how I'm going to be losing these guys, or how far away can I go before they realize anything.
Right. So are they saying anything?
No, they're just grunting and it's not like they can hold a real huge conversation.
Like I said.
What
So
did you say, Chris?
I was like earlier when I was talking to the Thunderlord, I was saying it's like because none of these guys can actually hold a meaningful conversation with you. You know that, right? You're gonna get lonely.
yeah, he is going to get long. Would you guys? The maps jerk around here so bad. So anyway, yeah, you can see these guys, but I would have to take you back to the newer, bigger map. I was thinking that you guys were. I should have known better. I should have known better. I should have known better. That all of you would do everything possible to
Just
make my
split-
life different.
Just split up and make your life difficult.
I've got all of these years of experience, and still players surprise me at every turn.
There was
Well,
no
we would have
stupidity
gone
or
in.
bad dice rolls.
Hmm?
That'd be stupidity, brilliance, or bad dice rolls.
No, I'm talking about how you guys determine that you're going to move to do, etc. I should have just put you on the bigger map and figured out how to put the hospital onto the bigger map. So this is the hospital or the exam rooms and everything like that. That's actually from the adventure. So, and it's crap. It's just garbage. It's too small. So, let's see. So, Ginger,
Mhm.
is there anything you want Peaches to do on the smaller map?
Well, in a
Hello?
I'm thinking. She's wondering if I'm honestly wondering if I could sneak this way across the but I would be exposed across the entrance, and that's assuming
Correct.
that they're looking.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I don't know if I should whistle and get Chris's attention.
Do you know any animal whistles or anything like that?
I
Twice
know.
like a brown owl, twice like a barn owl.
I could probably go hoo 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 hoo, and it would sound just like that, you know. Or wolves whistle, don't they?
Sure. They howl whistle.
That I wish I could actually whistle that whistle. Yes, and this character can probably put two fingers in her mouth and put out a clear, sharp whistle.
Maybe.
Yeah. I wonder if I took my flashlight and tossed it over here. Can you see where
Are you on the new map or the old map?
I'm on the small hospital map, I
The
think.
small hospital map. Where are you trying to? Are you trying to toss it inside or are you back into the parking lot?
Into the parking lot to distract the
Right here?
I'm
Or
wondering.
where?
Or right about there. Can't get it to. It won't open up. Oh, that's because. There we go. Over here somewhere, maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Or here.
So you're trying to cause a distraction.
See if I couldn't yeah, but I would want to toss it, I suppose, so that it bounced. What do I have that it's expendable? Do I have like a coin in my pocket?
Sure. You
Subway
could have a coin in
token?
your pocket.
Yeah. Something that I don't value. Like I actually value my flashlight.
Okay.
Well,
So
if
let's see.
hmm,
Let's see. Where would
that might be a good place to toss it.
I'm
Oh.
looking at your character sheet. See if I can find what I'm looking for. Let's see. That's not going to help. Let's just make it a dex check. Again, versus a target 10. And you wanted. Let's verify where you wanted to place it first.
Yeah, I wonder what would happen if I tossed it this way. That would put their primitives' backs to me.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris, that might be your opportunity to take off running.
And you could actually try and hit the tank and make some noise with it.
Oh yeah, I'll plunk it at the tank, like right about there.
Okay.
That should be
Okay.
pretty hard to miss.
If it hits over here, or here.
Well,
I'm wanting it to go as far away as I can. So here is perfect.
Okay. All right. Well, give it a shot. We're going to leave it at a target number of 10.
And
It's a big item, but you're trying to really hit the tank, and coins don't like to follow where you put them, unless you're really good at that.
Well, yeah, I have a multi-tool, don't I?
Yeah, I think so.
There should be a bazillion pebbles around us.
Oh yeah, something with a little heft. What's around me that might work if anything in my first aid kit won't?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, you could probably get something, from the suddenly starting to crumble building around you.
Yeah, is anything like a chunk of rock, concrete?
Sure, why not? Why not?
Yeah, something with a little heft and something that would go poof real nice and loud.
Okay.
Or at least, even if it disintegrated into a little poof bomb of gravel on impact with anything, That's fine. Is this a dex skill or a strength skill?
Let's make it. Let's keep it dex.
Is it missile weapons?
No, not really. You're not really trying to hit anyone in particular. So
It's true. So, just
let's
saying,
let's
I
do
don't
your
actually
basic.
have. Not that I have missile weapons anyway. I don't.
Okay.
How about a trick?
No, that's more for getting somebody off guard. You're
Then-
trying to. It's a different definition in the game. So
Okay. So dexterity and the difficulty is.
like I said, let's just keep it a 10.
All right. I am tossing a gravel bomb at the tank.
A gravel bomb. I like that. Huh.
Well, I have a feeling it's going to pulverize in midair. So
It probably will. Hang on just a second. Let me read something here.
Mo's just
Hmm.
staring in like amused fascination at this entire thing.
Okay, so wait a second.
my
Your roll
optimum
total
place
was a
was
15.
here.
Okay, look. I think Andrew was right this time. Trick.
Oh, thanks.
Mind. Characters use trick to fool their opponents and throw them off guard, or to bluff them into believing some temporary ruse. Trick is primarily a distraction tactic. Convincing someone of a lie is covered by persuasion. 115 for trick as an interaction attack. So let's figure this out. Your roll total was a 15. Okay, that gives you a bonus of 2. So do you have trick?
She's not that tricky, I don't think. She's more in your face. No, I do not.
Okay. Which one is better, your dexterity or your mind?
Dexterity by far.
Okay, then we're going to keep it as it is. So 15 is, or your bonus, with your bonus, it's a 12. So that's a success. It's a basic success. It kind of plinks off of the tank a little bit, say about here, and it bounces up a little bit so that it comes down here, and it rolls around a little bit before it starts to truly disintegrate. But it only disintegrates into a few little rocks and some pebbles and stuff like that once it rolls off of the forward glacis of the tank. Your primitives are paying attention, and they sort of kind of break up a little bit, not on the tank, but more or less beside it. Oh.
And they're
Okay.
looking underneath.
No, they're looking around in general. So that would give Chris ample opportunity to run.
Well, 1, 2.
Okay, so go ahead and move where you're going to move. Okay, so you get moving down there, and Peaches is right here. Okay, and so what are you going to do next?
I am going to keeping these rusty cars in between. I'm going to run or stealthily duck pretty much over here. Let's see.
Okay,
Here. Can I do that? How fast can I go?
well, it's equal
I
to your
was-
dexterity.
I was here,
Okay,
and I
so
want to
let's
come around
see.
this car here.
That's 1, 2, 3,
6 X's.
4, 5, 6.
And my dex is 10.
Okay, so you managed to get Chris out of there. And
Yeah, but
where did you go again?
can
Okay.
Chris, is Chris running too fast to see me?
No, you would be
And
moving
Mo.
at about the same time that he's coming across, so he can see you pretty easily once you
I
get
am
behind
trying to-
that car.
I am trying to keep under the eyesight, away from the eyesight of these guys, so that they don't see me. But I am trying to flag him down, Chris down.
Mo
Okay.
can also catch my attention as well. Mo and Lena.
Yeah, they could.
I'm just waiting on your pursuers to come along so I can blitz
Yep.
them out of the bushes.
Yeah, that
And
too.
actually, okay,
Oh,
so
sorry,
that will-
Francois and I and Mo were all standing ready to jump out at them.
okay,
Francois will let them pass him.
okay. Well, hold on for just a second, because I've got to find out if the primitives actually see him.
Mm-hmm.
So, hang on. Primitive 1 ought to do it, doesn't matter. Oh, let's see. Okay, that one is not going to, yeah, he's a failure.
That's a cruel thing to say.
Don't call me a failure. Second
My
one.
God, why?
Okay, that one is the only one that second one right there did get to see Francois kind of sitting there while this guy and this guy kind of keep going and this guy actually keep going after Chris. So Francois does see old boy here. Now, let's stop for a minute. It's 10:50 at night. Let's kind of wrap things up, and we can pick up with whatever your plan is. As a matter of fact, we could even write it down. So, do you have a basic idea for what you'd like to do for a plan?
Yes.
I'd be kind of running to Mo and Lena, be kind of around them and kind of turn around to start firing back on my pursuers. I think
I'm not going to be trying. I'm not going to be firing. I'm going to be swinging my axe at them. And
Okay.
Francois is going to jump out at the one that spots him, letting the others go ahead. I'm going to catch the next furthest one, and I'm going to rely on Mo,
Hold on, slow
possibly
down.
Chris, to take care of the two leaders.
Okay.
All right.
Mo?
All right. So what we're planning is, as this one rounds the trunk and spots Francois,
Okay.
these other three should keep going, chasing Chris. And I think when that one gets here, Peaches plans to like axe him right square in the nose, and then is
ask you.
gonna
Okay.
ask him a question.
Yes, I am looking like a batter up at bat.
And then
somebody
these two,
cut through a door.
and these two will
Here's
probably
John.
get to about here, going, "What the hell just happened behind us?" Which is when I will explode out of this shrubbery and just like land on top of them. My plan is to just bull rush the both of them whenever they stop, like right in here. I figure they'll take another couple of steps past whatever happened because they're all at a dead run.
Okay.
Yeah, and Chris should be somewhere up here before he like comes to a stop.
Okay, can you all see that? What I just wrote up here?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Does that sound correct to everybody?
Yeah. What is the strike miracle?
The strike miracle will let you bless a weapon. It will do more damage.
Work on guns.
Yes, it will work on guns.
That is what Francois is quietly going to be blessing his weapon, so that when he jumps out at his target, he'll probably end up firing the gun, but he plans on using strike.
Okay, hold on. We're getting a timing issue here. Okay, because the way it sounds like all of this other stuff happening, Francois was just kind of sitting there. So I mean, kind of got to start declaring things as they're happening. For instance,
it'll need to be in combat before we cast the strike anyway, because it only lasts 3 rounds.
Okay.
See, I don't know the miracle. I was just looking at the character sheet to see what Francois would use when he jumped out at him. And that's what I noticed he had strike. I didn't even know what it is. I was
Yeah,
like, is
I
that a
have the
lightning strike or what?
no. There is a lightning strike, but no, that's not it.
But this one, what this does is it enhances the damage of a weapon.
All right.
Okay.
Mhm.
So how about this as a proposal? Francois jumps out, takes care of the one primitive, and then maybe starts casting that mirror.
All right.
Okay.
So
Because yeah,
they'll unfortunately end up in a grapple situation, won't they?
not
Probably.
necessarily. It depends on whether it's villains or heroes.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, and we can start dragging out cards next week. If everybody is still going.
Yeah, I plan on being here.
Okay. Cool. Ginger.
Yeah, I'm great. I plan on being there.
She's like, I'm not missing this. I want to kill these bad guys.
Like,
So
rats, they're getting away.
okay, so March
You know,
7th.
I didn't plan on this character being the bruiser that she's turning out to be.
Well, unfortunately, this adventure should be a very bruiser adventure. I have read through it once before, but when you read through it, it reads slowly, and I read slowly anyway. So when it's time to actually run the adventure, and you're kind of going through the steps, you're like, oh my god, are we ever going to get out of combat? You know. But there are other further adventures coming along that aren't going to be quite so bad. I think the main event for this is to teach everybody how to more or less use the system, get your characters involved, and put together. So just like any other role-playing game, you've got to start off somewhere.
Hmm.
So,
Right.
all right. So next week we'll start off with round 1. Matter of fact, let me just go ahead and put that up there right now. Okay, and then I will go ahead and drop a line to Blair that he's going to have to get rid of card number 6. But the rest of his cards are sacrosanct for now.
Didn't you say that you were planning on running all the day ones for us?
No, oh hell no. I ran 3 of the day 1 adventures. One of them was for Isle. The first one was for Isle. The second one was for Aurorsh, and the third one was Nile Empire. I ran all 3 of those, and they were excellent adventures, but I don't want to run them again. This is the first time I'm running the Living Land, and while I'm enjoying it / hating it, it's actually, you know, I can't wait until we're done with this. I've got adventures already lined up after this. It's
Okay.
keep us in the Living Land a little while longer, but after that, I've definitely got some adventures lined up. So let me make sure I've got this down. February 22nd, Ginger wedding. Will be late. Okay.
Yes.
Um,
But here's my objective. We're going to rescue Chris.
mhm.
Question him what's going on in there.
Oh, okay.
And then go get in there, somehow manage to see if we can't rescue Vanessa and Isabel. And if possible, I want to see if we can't like drive the tank into the building or something. I think that's just the most awesomest like distraction ever.
Well, it'll be dramatic.
My character is just dying to try it. She's a firefighter. She drives big trucks. She's never driven a tank.
I have no idea how hard it would be to drive a M1.
It's just sitting
Yeah.
there. I mean, it's so tempting.
And you're possibility rated, so you might can get it going.
Could be.
If you're making notes, you can just make a note that Peaches really, really wants to drive that tank.
Okay. Peaches
Cars.
really, really
Wants
wants
to-
to drive a tank.
Yeah, and
She does.
this,
She wants to know if it handles anything at all like a fire engine.
Likely is not.
But you see, the fun would be the thing that it's got these treads, you see, and a fire truck does not. So over the hospital is just as good as around, isn't it?
Well, you could
The hospital's pretty tall.
Google how to drive an M1 tank.
Not sure you'll find it. But
There is probably a Google thing on there that would tell you how difficult this would be. I
Also,
mean,
just
I know
like on
older.
YouTube,
Yeah.
you can YouTube a video of driving a M1 tank.
Yeah, I know older tanks. It
You're
was
multiple people.
well, I mean, they drove like bulldozers. So I mean,
yeah.
that is absolutely
My
nothing
friend.
like a car.
I have to. This concluded our evening of fun on the 15th of February 2020. From this point forward, unfortunately, no more audio was recorded, bringing us to the end of the audio-only recordings. I stopped them because they took entirely too much space on my hard drive for being only audio. Craig from Discord was constantly breaking up, likely a matter of resident population at that moment, and I just felt like there wasn't any point in spending at least 10 man-hours per recorded hour listening to and correcting recordings for relevant consumption. Thus, my friends and I will drive on with home-recorded voice, using images as I have for the sake of telling our stories until the videos come along. Yes, I have now brought us into the video age and have been learning, while still running game sessions, how to use the OBS software to record those videos, voice and all. I have had my share of hiccups, of course, but I have also managed to learn a great deal from them. Thus, I will finish telling about this adventure on this recording. My next recording will involve our second adventure, summarized to tell, hopefully, a good story. That story is David Chart's Day 2 Road to Philadelphia. Our third and fourth adventures, the Janus Agenda Day 1 and Popes in Space, which hails from the very first issue of the old Torg Infiniverse newsletter, will be recorded in kind. Then we get into the video, beginning with our group's fifth adventure, My Possibility Blackout, which is a total conversion of the original Torg box sets before the Dawn adventure, an homage to Greg Gordon, one of Torg's many producers. I have also begun writing, in earnest, the novel for Possibility Blackout, which I am calling Before the Dawn, completing the homage. I intend to have that out no later than the spring of 2021. For now, however, I hope you continue to enjoy my description of the conclusion of Day 1, Living Land. With little toil were Francois, Mo, Peaches, and Lena able to rescue Chris from the primitives. Then, because of a botched group attempt at stealth, while gaining some perspective on the layout inside, Chris risked going back inside, attempting to lure Brant, Isabel, and Vanessa out. Sensing deception, however, the Thunderlord raised one of his M16s to fire at Chris, his bullets missing because he was surprised when the rest of the knights burst into the place and began laying waste to the primitives. This put a stop to the Thunderlord's immediate plans. A fight ensued with several of the primitives, who were attempting to use many of the unwitting folks trapped but not yet transformed into human shields. Isabel and Doc, attempting to help those people and put some distance between them and the primitives, as well as Brant, moved to aid the Ords. Brant, however, was paying attention and moved behind the waiting room couches where he could shoot at them and have some cover as Chris, Peaches, and Francois rushed to help Isabel and Vanessa. Mo, however, had his own brand of help to give, which was that of a giant rolling lizard ball. In truth, his attempt was to charge in and take Brant the Thunderlord by surprise, but due to a mishap for his maneuver roll, instead he lost all control and rolled into the reception counter, which you see marked as desktop destroyed on the provided map, though he did manage to trip a number of primitives along the way. Lena also rushed into the waiting and reception area to help the Ords surrounded by primitives who were also pummeling Isabel. With a magnificent 2-hit roll and appropriate use of both her Whirlwind perk and the Living Land Law of Savagery with an all-out attack, Lena managed to take out 5 primitives in one hit with her Rockroot Spear, freeing Isabel and Doc to treat the people and, hopefully, get them out of harm's way. Though Mo, now recovered from his floor polishing exercise, a new experience for the Adinos to be sure, was attempting to gain access to Brant's head. The Thunderlord began shooting at everyone, hitting no one, as my dice on Roll20 decided suddenly to avert my fun from taking place. Francois took stock of this, and to end the threat posed by the Stormer, ended him with a God-meter blast to the abdomen, and an astoundingly good roll to go with it, leaving a large smoking hole. The Primitives, their dead leader and opposing forces too strong to handle, decided to stop. This is when my oldest son, Gavin, joined us, adding his uniqueness to the group in the early evening of play. He and I played his character, Detective Alexander Pepper, who had been seen previously preserved in the crystal lattice of Ukon, awoke on the 3rd floor of the Lower Manhattan Hospital, and had to find his way to medical supplies, something to help wake him up, and something to eat. Then, recognizing he was in a hospital, began to make his way to a yet-marked stairwell and the ground floor, not knowing what or who he might find. All he could remember about his past was that some manner of monstrous bat had attacked him, knocking him down where his head hit a pointed rock. He could not figure out how he arrived in the hospital, however, or why he remained alive. He also saw the importance as an Aurorian monster hunter of maintaining sound discipline, lest something evil come to take his life, or worse. Making his way quickly to the stairs, he was easily able to traverse from the 3rd to the 1st floor where, upon coming out of the stairwell, immediately spotted someone he thought might help him, instead finding a primitive woman with a not picky desire to eat. Turning around, he ran to a room but had to cross a corridor first, where other primitives saw him cross and began to make loud noises to attract others and to chase him. Finally deciding his situation would not improve unless he stopped their noises, he was able to put them down individually, knocking them to the ground unconscious. Finally free to move about without startling any more of them, as they saw him as some manner of alpha male now, he made his way to the lobby where he saw the rest of our gang. They attempted to convince him of what Mo was and the special nature of Friar Aquinas, but the primitives and the oddities he had seen and continued to see taxed his mind too much, so he found a quiet room to gather his thoughts and himself in. About this time, Penny was outside exploring the controls in the Abrams tank, the slain Army reservists now stacked against the outer wall of the hospital, at which time she and Mo spotted an Adino scout on the parking structure across the street. It began to run and was too far away for Mo to use his primitive bow, so Peaches found the fire controls of the tank rapidly and fired off a shot, missing the scout altogether. Mo attempted to give chase, unsuccessfully. Unfortunately, the electronics and unnatural materials within the tank began succumbing to the law of life, especially as relates to decay, sending sparks and melted material BBs of various types and sizes all around and onto Penny, which caused her to accidentally force the tank driving controls to back into the hospital building, into the very room Detective Pepper had taken to hiding in, where Friar Aquinas continued trying to talk him out of that room. Though she did not hit the detective from Aurora, it was close enough to freak him out further. Drawing his Webley revolver, he threatened everyone not to come near him, but as he had nowhere else to go, was eventually talked down again into joining the party and traveling with them to the Living Land. Eventually, after the tank was turned off and Aquinas had convinced him to join their group if he wanted to get out alive, Pepper finally came out to join everyone, just in time for a horn to sound down the street from the Lower Manhattan Hospital. This ended the second act on February 22nd, but not the night. Because of the Adeno scout, our Storm Knights knew they had precious little time to gather everyone willing to leave Manhattan, find enough litters and wheelchairs for those unable to walk on their own, and find food and fluids to keep them all moving toward the Holland Tunnel, by now the only escape route available from Manhattan Island. Mo and Lena moved to do some scouting of their own and found out just how close Theklik and her army of Adenos were, at which point they rapidly returned to the hospital and began urging folks to leave out the back way to a parallel street and away from Theklik's warriors. Our knights also quickly realized they had no means of being able to fight a group of deadly red-jaw Adenos with their small numbers, and had to abandon the place. Fortunately, darkness was on their side as they came to Highway 75 and soon after the mouth of the Holland Tunnel. Unfortunately, Theklik and her scouts had noticed foot tracks and trash of the company protected by the Storm Knights, being able to follow them even in the darkness well enough. With consternation and the realization the only way out was through, Mo even took the lead with Peaches to scout the tunnel and provide the safest path they could, the remainder of the knights and the 27 people with them following within a few minutes. Theklik was not so eager to traverse the tunnel, however, such a dark dead thing that had already notably had so many deadly man-eating plants within. However, she couldn't ignore her duty to Baraka and so plunged ahead. Theklik's scouts began to catch up once the knights and their charges were roughly halfway through, and though the scouts were rapidly put down, it did not stop Theklik from sending more. While most of the knights battled with a massive and quick-moving carnivorous plant, the hospital folk were able to put down another of her scouts and hobbled the last of the second group sent after them. When the second scout returned to Theklik, in anger she slew him and plunged ahead. Shotgun in hand to help distract and a petrol bomb designed to kill the plant having set it on fire, the hospital residents, despite being tired and afraid, moved to the exit they sought, walking around automobiles and dodging plants which had been in the tunnel when the storm surge hit roughly 5 hours before. All of the cars had shut down, and though many people were able to leave the tunnel, some were attacked and slain by Adenos, while others still were eaten by the carnivorous plants which had come out of the tunnel from nowhere. Once the flames of the petrol-covered man-eating plant had grown hot enough, the concrete within the tunnel had given way and the water of the bay began pouring in, giving Theklik and her forces a choice to move forward or to retreat altogether. Theklik was not about to lose her quarry and ordered them all to continue, or if the water didn't kill them, she would. Finally, out on the other side of the tunnel, the Storm Knights had to continue to motivate people from the hospital to keep moving. Having heard the tunnel implosion behind them, and Mo knowing Theklik would not just stop coming, she would continue until either she or they were dead. Not to disappoint, several warriors came from within the tunnel, immediately charging the group, the hospital residents now further away toward a nearby mall where they could hide and rest. Though the greater portion of Adenos warriors were put down in the first round, a second wave came moments later, followed by Theklik and more warriors and scouts, all charging to attack, with Theklik letting out a fierce yell and claiming Mo as her own kill, which all other Adenos from that point forward obeyed. The first strike of Theklik against Mo would have been devastating had Mo not changed his bit of reality by soaking the damage. The lineup of knights against the warriors formed, and many warriors perished that day. The battle between Mo and Theklik became epic quickly, though Mo would triumph in the end. An enemy optant then invoked a miracle against everyone close to Mo, and all suffered some nasty penalties. Vanessa, however, being a natural-born leader, as she was, stepped forward and spoke words of encouragement to embolden her new friends, which disrupted most of the enemy's plan. Unfortunately, Lena was attacked and hit with a spear going deeply into her body, though she burned a possibility to soak it. That possibility leading to a die roll of 73, and Chris playing a glory card for her. Having seen Lena take such a nasty hit, however, spurred Mo on, still enamored of her, to action to finish Theklik with a very high die roll to hit and to damage in that same round. Theklik, heavily wounded and most of the Adenos injured, or otherwise incapacitated, chose to escape the fight and live for another chance against this group of Storm Knights, ensuring the battlefield was clear of combatants. our Knights retreated with the Lower Manhattan Hospital survivors and remained in place there for the night, healing, resting, and supping as much as possible. On finding shelter for the night away from Manhattan, our Knights ended not only the first day of the Possibility War, but their first survival foray into the living land, thus ended Day 1. However, this did not end their time in the living land zone in New Jersey, and the next morning found them once more in a rapidly developing jungle world, as dangerous as any environment Penny and Chris had ever found themselves in. Join us for the next adventure, a recap for which will hopefully be done by us all. Until then, adventurers.